All right, good morning. Good morning. Here we are again. Episode 5 of Next Level Motivation, Living Principles for Living Life to the Fullness. This is episode 5. I am the author and writer of this book, and we are now on a journey where my whole goal for doing these sessions is to help people understand their past, live right now in the present as you plan out your future. And so the purpose of this book reading, as I mentioned before, is so that as we walk together, as we travel along, you get a chance to, everybody has a story. You see, everybody has went through things. Everybody has overcome things. And sometimes we have to, in order for us to move forward, we got to be able to understand, how do we make sense of all the things that happened to us in the past? Yes. Did we have a blueprint for what we want in our life? Yes. Did it all come to pass? No. Did things happen along the way? Yes, it did. So how do we make sense of it, and how does it fit into the big picture and help us as we move forward? So we're going to go ahead and get into it this morning. As again, if you're on here, if this is your first time, again, I want to welcome you. If it's not your first time, welcome back. Again, I'm Donovin Darius, former 10-year NFL player. Remember, NFL was what I did. It was not who I was. Deeply at the core for me, I felt I was always a messenger of inspiration and hope. I was always somebody that loved to connect with people. I love to inspire people. I love to motivate. I love to energize them. I love to basically understand that in my life, I'm giving value to someone and my life matters. And so I remember discovering that even when I was young. Okay, one of the exercises I did, and I'm kind of just jumping around a little bit, but I just feel led to say this. When you think about your childhood, when you think about when you were growing up, what was the one thing that you were trying to prove? If you think about it, think about when you were a young child. What was one thing that really mattered to you, that you've always had with you, that you were always trying to do, you were always trying to project, whatever it may be, from you being young, even up to now? What is that? Do you know what that is? Was it you were trying to prove something? Was it you were trying to feel accepted? Was you trying to feel loved? Whatever it may be, because whatever you had and you felt way back then, and it just carried with you, you're going to do it now. So for me, I'll give you a prime example. When I did that exercise, which was looking back at my life and saying, what is the theme of my life? What has driven me throughout my life in terms of the things that I've done, and why I've done the things that I've done? And I sat down and it made sense. It said, ever since I was young, I was always trying to add value. I wanted to know that I was valued. That means that my life mattered. That means that what I had was good enough. Okay? And what I did was good enough. And so again, I would push. And it wasn't so much about pleasing other people, but it was about me making sure that, my life, I had a certain amount of potential in my life. And I was able to tap out that potential, and it was able to help and enable somebody else's life. And so for me, as I looked at it, I said, wait a minute, that's what it was. It was about value. And that's why I come on and I do these videos. That's why I come and I do the books. That's why I write the books. That's why I do the speaking engagement. That's why I do all these different things to connect to people, because it matters to me that I'm adding value to people. What is it for you? What is the driving force for you that you feel has been driving you ever since you've been young, even to this day right now? It is to prove that, hey, I can do this all by myself. It is to prove that, I'm not going to be like that person. I'm not going to be like this person. Or to prove that, I can stand alone on my own. I'm independent. Or what is it? What is it for you? Because for you, it may be different than it is for somebody else. But I think that's a great place to start. What has been your driving force? Because in order for us to go forward, when we talk about living principles for living life to the fullness, in order to move forward, you got to be able to understand where you're starting at. You see, a goal is just a goal, but a goal without understanding where you're starting at, it's just another point out there in the middle of nowhere. But in order for you to know where you want to go, you got to know where you're starting. And so again, I want to welcome you guys again to this, the 5th episode here. If this is your first time, again, as I do it, I want to go through and read some of the book out loud, and then I'll stop at different points and kind of share a couple of insights, as it kind of speaks to me a little bit from there. So yesterday we were talking about the making of diamonds. We're talking about the 4 C's, the cut, the clarity, okay, the carat, and the color. And we talked about those things. If you missed those episodes, you can also look up YouTube, because I post all the prior episodes prior, up there on there. Okay, so now we're still in chapter 1 here of the book, all right? And so we're going to kind of go down, and this next subheading talks about value defined. It says, what does it mean to truly value something or someone? According to Oxford Dictionary, to value something means to regard something as deserving worth, importance, appeal, and significance. Do you define yourself like the description above? If you're honest with yourself, you'll likely admit that there are times when you unquestionably do, and there's other times when you definitely do not. You may not also admit that past circumstances in your life tend to play a crucial role in how you view yourself. My desire for you in this section is for you to fully grasp the fact that you are a person of tremendous value. And not just for who you know or what you've done, but also as you walk this out, you can walk this out in a manner worthy of the value of who you are. As you continue to read, you'll be introduced to the beauty and the magnificence that is you. You'll discover ways that you can begin to value yourself and learn how to add values to others. One of the biggest problems we face in this world is to never learn how to value ourselves. And one of the most important components of valuing ourselves is found in understanding the value of self-love. In our society, we have it backwards. We try to love others more than we love ourselves. In other words, we often attribute more care, more attention, more sacrifice to other people more than we do for ourselves. We sacrifice for other people in hopes that it will be done in return to us, or because it's viewed as noble or something that we should do, or it's noble to give up our time, our care, our energy to something or someone else. Now that may sound noble to you, but I'm here to tell you that it's not wise, and honestly, in order for you to become the expression of greatness that you were created to be, you must understand this crucial point I'm going to make. The point what I'm going to start talking about in this, the things that's coming up is about 5 powerful results of self-love. You see, I had to realize that as I grew older, and here's one thing about life. Life is only meant to be lived out. I put out a quote the other day that says, life can be remembered backwards, but it only can be lived forward. In order for us to be able to really fully live our life, we got to be able to understand it. And one of the things about understanding living our life to the fullness is about this powerful value and attribute of self-love. What do you do for yourself? What are you expecting someone else to do for you that you're not doing for yourself? If you look at the time of your life, okay, a percentage of your life, how much of it are you just pouring out? And how much of that you are pouring out should you really be pouring into yourself? You see, we always remember this. On an airplane, what do they say? In the case of intense heat, pressure, okay, everything, turbulence. Anybody have some turbulence in their life? Anybody have some situation in their life that they're getting through? They always say that you're either about to come into a situation, you're in a situation, or you're coming out of one. They say in the case of emergency like that, and the oxygen mask has come down, put it on yourself first. Because if you don't take care of yourself, you can't take care of anybody else. Yes, you may be able to do it for a little bit, but it's only a matter of time before all the oxygen runs out. And then now you're no good. So again, the understanding the power of self-love. And then I actually say that right here in this book. So this is why it's all in the same vein. So if you're ever taking a ride on a plane, then you know that the pilot or flight attendant would explain, in the case of emergency and the pressure rises, to first place an oxygen mask on yourself. And only after you receive the adequate amount should you turn to assist others. You see, if you're not taking care of yourself, you'll be incapable of helping others. When other people look at your life and see how you're neglecting to take care of the most precious creation ever made, then they're receiving a mixed message from you. You are saying one thing, but you are doing the complete opposite. The great passage in the Bible says to love others as we love ourselves. Most people take that and flip it around, loving others while forgetting to truly love and appreciate themselves. They spend more and more time helping others while spending less and less time taking care of themselves. That passage encourages us to love others as you are loving yourself. If you're doing one and not the other, you've totally missed the mark. Here's a question. What areas of your life are you neglecting? What areas of your life require more self-love, more self-appreciation, more self-value, more self-understanding? Listen to me clearly when I say this. As a representative of anyone you are trying to help, I don't need you to love me any more than you love yourself. Buddha said, you yourself, as much as anybody in the entire universe, deserve your love and affection. So I'm going to now share the remaining time. I want to share a couple things about the 5 powerful results of self-love. So what does it look like? Okay, does it mean that I just focus on myself? You see, in life, I truly believe that you should live your life selfishly. Here's what I mean. You should live your life selfishly, but not self-centeredly. You should live your life focusing on this. I got to take care of me. That is, I need to make sure that there's nothing wrong with you focusing on yourself. There's nothing wrong with you taking care of yourself. But you should not live your life self-centeredly. That means that you are just the center and the only most important thing in this universe. And so, yes, you heard it from me. It is okay to live life selfishly, but it's not okay to live life self-centeredly. So your world, after you take care of yourself, now we continue to expand. Now we can grow. So let's kind of continue on, okay? If this is making sense to you, if this is impacting you, if this message is encouraging you, do me a favor, check in, type a 1 in the comment section, okay? Also, don't forget, you can go ahead and share these messages as you're going. 5 powerful results of self-love. Below are 5 results of self-love. These are indicators to help you evaluate yourself to see if you're truly and taking the time to value yourself and walk in self-love. If you are, then you can confidently expect these results. Here's 1. Self-love is a result of self-discovery. You must discover yourself first before you can ever really get to know anyone else. This is the result of investing the time it takes to learn the real you. Come to a better understanding of what you like, what you don't like, why you are the way you are, what things you enjoy doing, and where you excel the most. We've been trained and programmed to believe that we're not supposed to love ourselves and that we're supposed to love others and serve others above ourselves. I can remember hearing someone say that you're supposed to submit to others, serve others, and think of them more than yourselves. Remember, to humble yourself does not mean to think less of yourself. It just means to think about yourself less. You still have an important responsibility to think about and take care of yourself. Only by doing so, you can properly help anyone else. So that's the first one. And it talks about self-love as a result of self-discovery. Do you know you? How much do you know about you? Do you know what you like, what you don't like, what you want more of in your life? What do you want less of your life? What are your strengths? What are your weaknesses? What are your areas you need to grow in? What are the baggage that you're bringing from your past? What is the book bag that you're carrying around no matter where you go? What is the mask that you're wearing right now to try to protect yourself? What are those things? Now, nobody can tell you what they are, because if they tell you what they are, you won't accept it. But I need you to discover that for yourself. Because once you discover that for yourself and you get to know yourself, then you get a chance to show yourself to other people. All right. Number 2, self-love is a result of self-worth. Self-love is a result of self-worth. How much you value yourself will show in the way you take care of yourself. You wouldn't treat a 5-carat diamond ring the same way you would a ring out of the bubblegum machine, would you? You would probably invest a considerable amount of insurance and protection into that ring, because you value it and you don't want anything to happen to it. Understand that your worth is not only dependent on your journey, but it's also a byproduct of the design and purpose. When you consider yourself of great worth, then you value everything about yourself, the good, the bad, and the ugly. This one talks about your self-worth. How much do you value yourself? If you was to put a price tag on your life, what price tag would that be? How much would you worth? If you were to sell yourself, if you were to put yourself and put a tag on you to say, this is how much I'm worth, how much would you say you're worth? Because at the end of the day, self-love is all about your self-worth. It's all about how you view yourself. You see, they often say a price is just a price, but the value of that price depends on the person who is basically trying to get it and buy it. You ever have something that really doesn't mean a whole lot to one person, but it means a whole lot to another person? It's the same object, the same product, but the person that it means a lot to, the person that values it more, they put a lot more price into it. They're willing to pay more. How about you today? What is your self-worth? How do you view yourself? Are you just your past? Are you just what other people said about you? Are you allowing the opinion of other people to become your reality? Are you just associating your worth based off of the lineage, you know what I'm saying, the heritage that you come, or what part of town you're from, or what you accomplished or what you didn't accomplish, how much school you had, how much school you didn't? Is that your worth? Are you adding up the prices or subtracting the prices just based off of those things? Are you adding up your worth based off of the color of your skin, based off of the level of your aptitude? Are you considering your worth that one? Or are you basically saying, you know what? I am designed by the master, the creator of all things. And the creator of all things says that I am a masterpiece. So I'm going to start from the very place that the person who created everything says that I'm a masterpiece. And you know what you do with a masterpiece when you go to a museum? You know what you do with a masterpiece? You study it. You look at it. You marvel at it. You're like, oh my goodness. You take care of it. You protect it. You shine it. Okay, you do the maintenance that it takes because you understand the worth of it. If you understand the worth of it, you're going to maintain it. You're going to talk to it. You're going to speak about it. You're going to praise it. You're going to do everything you can. So that way, at the end of the day, you're moving it forward versus pulling things backwards. How about you? What is that like for you? How much do you value yourself? What does your self-worth look like? See, as I said, my job is I want to help you understand your past and live in your now. I want you to live in your now, right now. Where are you at now? What is your thinking now? What is your value now? What is your worth now? Because again, we can't move forward if you don't live in your now. And so the value of something has everything to do with how much you believe it's worth, because that's how much you're willing to pay. When it comes to our health, when it comes to our physical, our emotional, our mental, our spiritual, our social health, how you value your health will determine the things you do. And so it starts from the inside and then it responds on the outside. So the last one we're going to do, in today's session, and we're going to read one more. So again, we talked about self-love as a result of self-discovery. Self-love is a result of self-worth. And the next one, self-love is a result of self-esteem. How much would you estimate that you're worth? If you were to put a price on your life, your time, your gifts, what would it be? Your life and your time are the most expensive commodities known to man. When we esteem ourselves worth of great value, we're selective with what we do. We're selective with where we go. We're selective with who we spend time with, and we're selective with what we do with the gifts that we're here to deliver this world. When you esteem yourself of great value, then you have to ask yourself some questions. Who am I spending my time with? What am I doing? And based off of what am I doing and who I'm spending my time with and how I value myself will determine all the things you do. And so I ask you today, and I say to you today, if you value yourself with great value, if you believe that you're truly a masterpiece, that there is no imitation, there's only duplication, that there'll never be another person like you, there'll never be another one with your color, your skin, you know what I'm saying, with your smile, with your habits, with your attitude, with your charm, there'll never be another one like you. Never be a duplication. If you value yourself in that way, then I want you to take inventory today. Because the way you value yourself, are you spending time with the right people? Are you spending time in doing the right things? What should you do more of today because of the value you place on your life? Who should you get closer to because of the value you have on your life? Who should you move away from because of the value you put on your life? Because these are things that you're still going to be continuously growing in. None of us just get it right away because life is a journey. And because this journey, there are constantly exits, there are constant detours, there's constantly things that happen. And it is a learning process. There's nothing wrong with learning. The only problem is when you stop learning, when you stop looking at your life and you say, you know what, life is teaching me lessons. And so today's lesson was beginning to understand about what are some of the results of self-love. What does it look like? What does it look like? And then what are the questions I need to ask myself so I can live in my now? And I can go ahead and plan and walk out my future. So listen, I hope that today was encouraging to you guys. Listen, this has been great. I've been really enjoying it. Again, if you got something out of this today, if this was encouraging to you and you feel like, you know what, I want to share this message so that way other people can get in touch with this and we can prepare them for tomorrow's lesson, do me a favor, go ahead and type a 2, okay? If you're enjoying this message and you also going to be willing enough to go ahead and share it with other people. Listen, there's no journey, there's no joy and having it all to yourself. So let's go ahead and continue to share it. Listen, I want to thank everybody for coming on the Instagram, then also on the Facebook, also YouTube. Again, that's where I put all the videos, so you can definitely check them out there as well. Definitely don't forget to subscribe so you'll be notified. You'll be notified as we go along, and we're putting some more things out there. Again, I did mention to you guys before, if you have any questions, if there's any topic you want me to go into, just know. Just go ahead and type it in the comment section and then I'll come back. If it's something private, feel free to send me a private message or a DM, and then I'll be very I'll be very discreet with it. I'll be very private with it. So when I do share a message and I give some strategies and I talk about some tips or insight to help you move from one place to another, if there's any area that you're stuck or you just feel like you want some support in that area, let me know. And then I'll continue to talk about it after I do these sessions. So again, I want to thank you guys again, man. You guys are awesome. I'm glad you guys are awesome. Thank you guys for coming on in. The book is basically on, I think it's like $12 or $13, Tina. I mean, you think about it, man. We go to the movies and buy popcorn, and a hot dog and buy a soda. You know, we sit there and we just allow it to look at us and we kind of dumb ourselves down. Now, I love movies and I'm not dumb, but the point is where you invest your money, where you spend your time. And as we say this message, the value of something only matters to the person that's receiving it, okay? You can definitely check it out on Amazon. So again, man, don't forget, you guys can check this out on Amazon. It's right there. It comes right directly to your doorstep. So I want to thank you guys again. Join me tomorrow, okay? Join me tomorrow where we're going to go into episode 6. We're going to continue chapter 1, talking about self-love and how it plays out and what are some of the results. So we're going to talk about self-love as a result of self-concept, how you conceive yourself, and then also self-identity. So again, join me tomorrow as we close out chapter 1. Chapter 1 of Next Level Motivation. Thank you guys. I really appreciate you guys. It's been awesome. It's been amazing. And what do you say? Yes, Tina, you can buy several copies as well. So again, I make it very inexpensive so people can get it. But then again, you can now multiply the value and as it plays a part in your life. Listen, have a great day today. Have a great, awesome, amazing day. Don't forget, share this message, but then also subscribe and then send me your comments. Let me know how I can best serve you. How can I help you understand your past, living your present so we can plan out and walk out our future. All right. Talk to you guys later.